for TVZ, right? Terran versus Zerg. The Zerg player wants to get the Mutalisk to the enemy base as quick as possible, whereas the Terran player they really need to build turrets to stay alive, but they want to delay building turrets as long as possible, because you're just sinking gold into a useless investment if the Mutalisk is not coming. So both team is delaying what they need to do as long as they can. There's a ganking attempt on the Storm Turret. No way, they need more stun than that to kill that Storm Turret. And MYM actually leaving this tower alive to like the last possible moment before denying it is very like StarCraft-esque. As we see this Shadow Fiend, gotta be careful. He has gone for a BKB first, which is very a Chinese play, right? Chinese, and at least in most recently, haven't been going. Oh, this Morphling is gonna try to steal this tower, but there are everyone coming in, and let's see if MYM's gonna. No, MYM is not gonna deny this tower either. No, well. Oh, Puck denies it. Okay, so then never mind. They don't want to have that mid tower. That mid tower, the distance is pretty short. The distance is pretty short, so I guess that explains. That's what explains it. But yeah. Anyway, so I had no idea what I was saying. Oh yeah, I was talking about Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend in the Chinese scene has been going BKB first instead of the Blink Dagger, mostly due to trying to deal with heroes such as Venomancer and Alchemist. Those heroes and Storm Spirit, those heroes that have the ability to cancel your cancel your Blink Dagger in a team fight, which, I mean, you're investing 2,000 gold into an item, and if you can't use it in a team fight, that's a pretty shitty investment, right? So BKB first is, it's very logical, but I'm very questioning it coming from MYM, because MYM, as you know, they're pretty infamous for their like a tri-lane push strat, where in the mid game they just do they do multi-lane push, right? They just put pressure on many lanes at once, and to do that you really need a Blink Dagger, because what MYM do is like they set up wards absolutely everywhere, and they just they use like heroes like Potom, Sand King, and Shadow Fiend, and just nuke down wave. And like they nuke down wave so close to enemy base, like maybe here or maybe here, like very deep in the enemy territory, and they depend on wards and they depend on dagger to get the hell out. So actually not having a dagger first is a little bit like an eyebrow raising for an MYM Shadow Fiend, but I'm not too sure whether they are gonna do that MYM push strat, because they generally don't have the hero to do it, right? Chen is not a hero to do that. Witch Doctor is not a hero to do that. Sven, well, I guess Sven could kind of do it, and we are going to see Melk actually denying this tower at the very last moment. This is actually huge, right? Because the Scourge actually gathered at least 4 or 5 enemy heroes to push this lane, but Melk just said lol, and just at least wasted at least 4 or 5 heroes on the Scourge's time, and that's like, time is money in Dota and out of Dota, right? So it's like, that's a pretty big deal, at least. And that's something that it doesn't show on the scoreboard. Like, it doesn't show, oh, I have wasted 3 minutes of the enemy time, but it definitely is a big game changer. But it looks like the Scourge is gonna let that creep momentum to right, and they are gonna push this mid tower at the bottom mid tower. Meanwhile, the Sentinel is gonna trade the same thing. And I gotta say that this trade actually favors the Scourge a little bit more, and I think they're a little bit quicker. Yeah, the Sentinel got a TP back immediately, like right now. They need a TP because they are gonna lose base tower. Stormster is gonna go in for that Puck here. Puck is Puck trying his best to survive. He does have signs off. He is going to get blinked out, but he is going to get picked off here. Meanwhile, Shadow Fiend does pop an Invis Rune from his bottle. That is quite lucky. But yeah, he has BKB, so they got to be careful. And he has Blink Dagger as well, so he is going to pop. BKB is going to, quick fingers by the Venge. Nice swap there. Misery just raising for like absolutely no reason there. And he does get his ult off, but not in the center of everything. And he is going to get picked off by the Morphling here. Meanwhile, they're going to chase down the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit is going to be okay. And they are gonna pick off the Alchemist here. Did they lose the Morphling? No, they didn't lose a Morphling. Yeah, they didn't lose a Morphling, and they didn't lose a Storm. That was pretty huge, right? So, despite actually losing 3 heroes here, they did pick off the Shadow Fiend. They pick off the Pug. Yeah, Pug definitely bought back too. Yeah, Pug bought back. So they forced a buyback. They pick off Pug, and they pick off the Shadow Fiend. Though I say that was a fairly even trade, and consider that they have. Did a lot of damage on the space tower. It was definitely not a bad trade for the Scourge team. Keep in mind the Scourge team a far superior late game strat. They have far better late game hero. Stormster not too shabby late game. Of course, that Morphling is just a beast late game, and consider that Sentinel doesn't have the most late game squad. The Puck is pretty good in mid game as we see initiation going on this Puck. Wow, nice silence and nice stomp. Really good prevention like stuns coming in, and this Puck gotta be careful, man. He is gonna blink out. So yeah, going back to the Sentinel lineup, they are not late game all right. This Chen, as 28 minutes is already a little bit too late for this Chen. Like the creeps are starting to lose their effectiveness in the game, and that heal is not gonna just. I mean, 300 or 400 is really good global heal, but it's just not enough. As we see a Roshan attempt going for the Scourge. And wow, this is oh my god, this is a very smart ward. I'll talk about this later as we see this Roshan attempt going on. Acid Spray extremely good against the Roshan, and I think they could kill the Roshan before the engagement starts. Oh yeah, I think they definitely can, and they are gonna pick off. Stormster does get the Aegis here. Let's see, Tornado is gonna cast it. Those Centaur is gonna run in. Let's see if they're gonna get stomped. And Invisible Rune, actually, they're gonna focus on this Witch Doctor, very low, and Morphling. My God, across the crevice here, but is gonna eat a Shadow Fiend. Oh, and he is very low. Probably gonna die to a Maledict here. And what is going on in this team fight? Alchemist is gonna go down. Chen taking some damage, but is gonna be okay. Alchemist is extremely low. Is there gonna be a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Fiend? Shadow Fiend does blink in. It's gonna pick off the Alchemist. Meanwhile, we did lose Pusher on the other side. Let's see, judging on the team fight here, an Alchemist and a Lion for a Pusher. I think that's a pretty good exchange, considering that the Stormster did get the Aegis and the extra gold from the Roshan didn't hurt. But that did give some extra experience to the Shadow Fiend and to the Sven, which you don't really want that. Which, by the way, if let's say your hero was here and you use like a Manta pop, he actually the Morphling actually went across the ledge, which was pretty crazy there. Anyways, before that Roshan, I was talking about this Observer Ward. This is a very smart Observer Ward. Going to Sentinel view, look at this. What does Observer see? Yeah, this Sentinel site. Yeah, actually you could see the Roshan. You could see at least a range heroes attacking the Roshan if there's a Roshan happening. So for all intents and purposes, this ward will see the exactly same thing as these wards, right? Well, actually, I'm not too sure whether it was actually this ward alone. I'm pretty sure, even without this ward, I'm like at least 90% sure. Without even this ward, you could still see the Roshan attempt. At the very least, you could see enemy walking towards the Roshan area. But the benefit of this ward is that it doesn't get counter warded at all. Like there's really no way. Actually, if you put a sentry ward here and if you check the spot, then you could get counter warded. But I mean, it's just such an unusual spot that it doesn't get counter warded that often. But I'm gonna probably after this game, I'm just gonna go place a ward in single player and see how that far. Or maybe you'll see to this tree. Yeah, most likely you'll see this tree. So at the very least, you're gonna see kind of position if the hero walk into this area. So maybe you won't see that deep into the Roshan spot, but it's definitely not a bad Roshan ward if you don't want to get counter warded. As we see the engagement going for that Morphling. Morphling extremely farm at this point. He is sitting at, let me see, what's his creep kill? 164, so around 5 a minute here. And Manta style. And let's see if he's gonna go into his Lincoln Sphere, which is the standard Chinese build. Lincoln Sphere, Manta first, and then Lincoln Sphere. But a Scotty is not out of the question. Which I don't really like Scotty because it just doesn't give you enough damage. But it's not like Lincoln Sphere gives you any other more damage, anyways, right? So we'll see. A lot of Chinese players nowadays have going to Manta into BKB. I really don't like that. I rather prefer Butterfly, but I mean Butterfly is 6k, BKB is 4k, so it's not really a valid comparison. Let's look at some of the other item progression here. Yeah, most Chinese Shadow Fiend would just skip this BKB altogether and went for a Manta style. But I mean, consider this is the MYM Shadow Fiend, right? They really like their Blink Daggers on their Shadow Fiend. So, meanwhile, Melk does have a Mecha and a Planeswalker Cloak. Pusher is Pusher going Axe. My God, if you allow Pusher to go Axe, you might as well forfeit. If Pusher have that much gold, you're doing some shit wrong, man. Meanwhile, we do see Sven, right? This is a benefit of having a non-supportive Sven. You actually have a Sven having some items relatively early. This kind of Sven gear in a Chinese Sven is like a 50-minute Sven, as we see these centaurs just forfeiting their lives, just stomping whatever they can before they die here. And Morphling does find himself 200 extra gold from those centaur, not too bad. And one thing about late game Chen is that your creeps just get nuked down so quickly, and you gotta spend a lot of time going to grab those creeps, and I don't think Sentinel does have this time. Sentinel is working under a window opportunity here, as we see Ultimate heading absolutely nothing here, but that Dreamcore actually getting the Morphling, and that was huge. Dreamcore and Stormbolt, and they are gonna pick off the Alchemist as well. So despite the Shadow Fiend not hitting a single ultimate, a nice Dream Coil from the Puck is gonna clean everything up, and that was the first huge team fight won by MYM. They did pick off 3 heroes in the exchange of none. So they are going to pick off the mid tower, the mid second tower, and they are going to try for the base racks as well. I don't think they could go for the racks. Yeah, they are going to, the enemy team heroes are going to come back fairly quickly. Stormster is just going to use a lot of his mana, and they are doing whatever they can to delay. And are they going to pick off the Puck? Puck should be okay. There we go. Hand of God is going to come in here. Maldic is going to pop off, and Lion is going to be picked off. Once again, Lion, despite doing very poorly, does have a Blink Dagger, so I guess that's mostly due to the Roshan bounty and the extra towers that they pick up, and at the very least they are going to pick off the base tower. And YM should back off at this point. No reason to go too bossy for those Raxes. And I gotta say, MYM is a very composed team in terms of that. I generally don't see them making too many mistakes, such as overcommitting for Raxes. And I guess this is why, I mean, I don't want, like, this sounds really bad coming from a scrub like me. I'm not a very good Dota player, but MYM, like, in terms of individual skill, MYM isn't really ranked too high on the individual skill, especially comparing to teams like DTS or NWO or especially the Chinese team, right? Individual skill wise, they're not too good. But things like decision making and teamwork, they are really top notch. I gotta say, they're probably some of the best teams in the world in terms of decision making and team fights and whatnot. And that more than enough, it makes up for individual play. So that's like, they don't overcommit for anything. They don't, you know, dive Roshan into a team fight without being sure that they can win it. So I'm really impressed at the very least for MYM team like that. So again, like, I'm not a very good player individual skill wise, but and so treat whatever I say with a grain of salt. A lot of times, and I'm reading my YouTube comments, a lot of people, like, especially for my earlier commentaries, they'd be like, dude, you're a bad commentator, you don't know what's going on and everything. And I read those comments and I think to myself, well, no shit. It's not like I play on MYM. It's not like I play on eHome. I'm not the best, like, Dota player in the world. I'm exactly like you guys that are watching this commentary. I just, like, watch replay, and well, granted, I watch a lot of them, so I do pick up knowledge here and there, but for the most part, I'm just like an average Joe, like you and I. I'm not in any pro teams, so I don't get any, like, extra secrets of being pro or anything like that. I'm just watching the game such as you are. So the things I say are, I guess, I logically think about it, but they aren't gonna be the most refined things. But people that are watching the commentary, they expect this shit to be like the word of God or some shit, which, I mean, this is not gonna be like that, man. But going back to the game, we are gonna see MYM, they are sensing a little bit of urgency, right? Again, the Chen pick is not gonna help them late game. And they are at the very least doing some damage, and they're going to focus on the Shadow Fiend. This is the good hero to focus, but they need to kill him before he pops his BKB. They are chained in on him properly here, and oh wow, BKB does block the Finger of Death here, but at the very least they did pick him off before casting the ultimate, which was everything, and this team fight is in the huge favor of U-Bolt here. And keep in mind, this Storm Spirit does still have this Aegis. Sven does blink out very... yeah, he is going to be okay here. And this Storm Spirit does have 400 mana, not enough to kind of pull off a big chase here. Sven, at very low HP, did somehow manage get caught up by that Morphling with the waveform. So well done by Yubo. Actually, that was pretty much a big wipe. Yeah, 4-1. So that was a huge trade for Yubo. And keep in mind that Yubo is the better late game team. So any kind of exchange like that is gonna propel them into an easier route of victory.